Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to have Minister Lokesh here today. As Mukesh was talking about Stanford and a glass of wine and making comfortable, the minister said under his breath the conversation over a glass of wine would be off the record. Uh, this one is on the record. We're also very fortunate. I want to thank the forum for arranging this. This is Minister Lokesh's first big public outing in Delhi. So we're all very fortunate to have him here today. Thank you. Everybody's heard of him. We've sort of imagined who he would be, and then here you have him in flesh and blood to sort of talk about the state and his ambitions and what the state government hopes to do. I'm going to start with the Stanford question. He spoke about it. There are not a lot of senior ministers in the government in states who would be with that background. So it's a distinctive one. So if I could ask you, how do you put that to use? What do you do? What do you use of that in the governance models that you're adopting? It's always intriguing for us to understand when you come back from that. We know how to do it in business and some other parts of the society, but in politics, how do you use that as a governance model?
First off, thank you very much for having me. And thank you, Viraji, for hosting. I mean, I've seen the power of an ecosystem. I mean, if you look at what Palo Alto and the greater Bay Area is, it's because of one institution. So I truly believe India needs to focus on building ecosystems. Politically, it might sound correct to do different projects across the country, but if they have to sustain for the next 100 years, I believe in the power of ecosystem. And that's what we are doing in Andhra Pradesh. The second aspect that has had profound impact on me personally and from Stanford Business School is, for our finals, we never had invigilators. So there's no one. And that left a profound impact on me on the need to build character and integrity and make that part of our culture, our rhythm, and in education. So when I did talk about this to our Chief Minister, Mr. Naidu, he said, good. So you have to deal with human resource development, PG and skill development, and IT and electronics. So you can do that better. And that was the task given to me.
Thank you. I'm going to jump right into another project that Andhra has taken immediately after election, something that is quite unique. The Prime Minister has announced the Viksit Bharat project, which is 2047. And then Andhra, as one amongst the first states to have announced what is called Swarna Andhra 2047. This is a very unique state-level project, also very much in keeping with Mr. Naidu's vision, pioneering everything, going out there, doing it, taking the big targets, putting it down for themselves, for the bureaucracy, for the stakeholders, businesses, and has a lot of sectorial policies that are in that. I'm told there is industrial policies, renewable energy, IT, GCCs, data center, cloud, building on the vision of a tech-driven Andhra. If you could elaborate a little bit about that, because it's not, I think it's one of the few and unique propositions from a state. So if you could just elaborate on that a bit.
No, the Honorable Prime Minister pre-election did talk about Viksit Bharat. And taking a leaf from that book, we said, let's now focus on Viksit Andhra Pradesh. And we broadly laid out the vision of what we want to achieve. And then we are now going back to our electorate and asking feedback on what we should do. So it's a people-led movement. Number one. Number two, as a state, taking from my first question, as a state, we believe in the power of ecosystems. So if you look at the state of Andhra Pradesh, we are peculiarly a long state. We have the second longest coastline. So each district is a geography for administration in India. Each district, we have specific focus areas. So if you take the southern bit, we want to focus on automotive manufacturing in one district. Renewable energy is a big thrust area. It's not just about solar, wind, it's about the pump storage projects. Close to 72 gigawatts is going to get built out in the next 5 years. Then you have the two other districts which are focused on electronics manufacturing, which is the Chittoor and Kadapa district. So like this, we have very district-specific focus areas. So coming to north of our state, we're going to focus on data centers, big data, the entire chem and pharma hub. So there's a lot of specific focus areas, and then we go back and say, what should each department do in order to achieve this vision? So for me, it's very clear that I have training institutes in the government. The ITI is polytechnic. So we're going to train manpower for tomorrow. So let's talk about all the green jobs we can create in one district. All the civil aviation jobs we can create out of one district. So that gives a lot of clarity, alignment for the state government on what we should go out achieving. And apart from that, Vikasit Andhra Pradesh, which is Swarna Andhra Pradesh that we have, Swarna Andhra Pradesh translates to Golden Andhra Pradesh. We are now working backwards of saying that, okay, if we need to achieve this kind of per capita income, then how do we go about achieving it? So which department should do what? And we're going to measure ourselves on a monthly basis, like how all of you do your business. Even the state is going to do this. On a monthly basis, we're going to measure it. And the second part is in this journey, we don't want anyone left behind. So we are creating a family, a report card of sorts, and saying what are the project or practice we can give to that family to pull them out of the cycle of poverty. So it's no longer about wealth creation alone, but how do you ensure that even people below the poverty line can be given a handout and to just pull them out of the cycle of poverty. And that's something that I think is going to be very unique to the state, and we're going to launch this in the next 3 months.